Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. Hey, I'm your host for LC Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 5, episode 26. I think there's 4 more episodes and then the reunion. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Thank you for subscribing. If you already subscribed, if you are new here, go on and subscribe to this channel. Also, like this video and share it. And please leave your comments on the episode and also in my commentary if you feel free. You can feel free to do that also. Shout out to Mr. CarlosKing and Kingdom Reign Entertainment and to the cast and crew. All right, so I think this episode was really good. No, it wasn't action filled, but I think like this. How I can say this is people who. I wish some of this stuff happened at the beginning of the season because so much has been held in and held back that we're getting true emotions. Like we could see something was up, but nobody was really acknowledging certain things. So hopefully I get through this really quickly. I don't know because there's some things I really do want to touch on. But anyways, we'll start with Tiffany, Kiki, and Stormy. Of course, everyone just believes that the baby was a mechanism, but who else was supposed to watch this baby that y'all keep saying that Tiffany deserves? You asked for it. It's not like she's pushing the baby off on anyone. So now it's a defense mechanism that she's being a mother, that she's there to breastfeed for the child. You didn't offer to put the baby anywhere, Stormy, but your confessional talking about it was a good. Tiffany is good at being shady behind your back, but it's bad at confrontation. But you've confronted her many times. Tiffany has never backed down, even when what's her name? Kiki confronted her before. So what are you talking about? Anyways, it's just some things I gotta get off my chest because some of y'all have come to your own conclusions about Tiffany because y'all just don't like her. And look, you don't have to like whoever, but at least tell the truth if about what you don't like and why you don't like her and what she's doing that you don't like and what, despite what you want to come up in your head, so you don't like her. I know this sounded a mess what I just said, but I don't care. Just make sure why you don't like her is for what it really is for. That's all I gotta say. So Kiki basically was like, well, I'm confused as to why you think that I have been coming for you. And Tiffany says, well, from the moment that at the spot thing, everything kind of shifted its focus and everybody was coming for me based upon what I had to say. And Kiki was like, well, it seemed like you were bashing me. And she said it wasn't bashing. And Tiffany took everything that she thought and felt as she was talking with Tisha, if she can do all this to you, your cousin, I don't think that I really want to get to know her like that. Like, then that means that, look, I'll chop liver. You could do this to me. And I don't think that Tiffany's point was wrong. However, how everything started off on a bad foot. I mean, because Tisha was being messy, but nobody even counted her as being messy, but it's just Tiffany. Tiffany did feel away. She did see things from the outside, and what you've acknowledged and all of that good stuff, Kiki, is like, of course you need to get to know somebody for themselves. However, based upon what I see already, I don't know if I really want to jail with you. That's all that was. So then Kiki was like, well, you are judging me and basing everything off of someone you don't even know because you don't even know what she's done to me. Well, at the time, you and Tisha were in a better place. And the reunion didn't make you really look any better, Kiki. That's the kind of stuff that I'm not really understanding. I like Kiki. I just don't. You got to understand how you've been looking for 2 seasons now, Kiki. Like, all this stuff is not imaginary and made up. Some people are like, do I really want to get to know this person? Because it looks like you're doing all this stuff with your cousin. Okay, we don't know what they have done to you. We get that. I don't get it. Kiki brought up that it seems like you were looking down on me because of my opioid addiction. And Tiffany said, no, that's not the case. Let me get that straightened out right now. I have parents who have been addicted to drugs, and there's no way that I would try to look down and judge anybody for that. The only thing that Tiffany has said was with that Crime Stoppers thing. And somehow it's gotten around that Tiffany's doing all this extra stuff, and it's not true. That's why I still labor and lobby for Tiffany, because things are getting mixed up. Y'all trying to make her into a light-skinned Karen. If y'all want to do that, fine. Or it's because of how she talks and all that. Make sure y'all not judging just like y'all think that she's judging Kiki, just based off of her skin color and how proper she talks. Make sure y'all do that. Tiffany said something that I think I'm going to be using later on in this video. She talked about every time we came together, everybody wanted to talk about Tiffany and Kiki. Tiffany, like, why has it got to be that? She also brings up something about being pushed to be messy. She was breaking the fourth wall. Not then, but later on in the episode. So, y'all want to blame Tiffany for world poverty, and it may not be her. All right, so basically they came to the conclusion that Tiffany did apologize and said, I apologize for making you feel like you felt offended by this, da-da-da-da-da. And I have been shady. Oh, you've been shady, but you've been shady too, lady. Stop it. Like, however, Tiffany apologized to Kiki, and they're moving forward. And that's that on that. I spent a little bit too much time on this, but it's like, Tiffany is not all wrong. And her hands are not the only ones that are dirty in this whole situation. And I think y'all are using her skin color and her properness and what you think is an elitist to paint her as a villain. So anyways, we're done with that. All right, so we move on to, I think it's Martell and Chris. Martell just had surgery. He's got these sunglasses on. He's making sure to not have those bags under their eyes. I was like, okay, but you're not even 40 yet. Okay. If you're going to be a model, well, I don't know. I don't care. I mean, you're just in Huntsville, in Atlanta. Who's looking at you like that? I mean, if you're going to be a model or something, I guess I could see you tweaking that part of your body. But okay. Anyways, Chris is glad that he's out of the house. He can finally market the house the way that he wants it to be. Da-da-da-da-da. Martell is ordering some things that need to be in his home. He's basically, everything's not furnished as of yet. So they get on the subject about him and Nell and their disagreement. Basically, how Martell is explaining how he was towards his wife, Nell, is that he felt like he was being disrespected and he needed to check her. And he said that he would check any woman that would be disrespectful. And if he was disrespectful to a woman, he would talk to her wife or her husband or whoever and let them know this is what's up. What Martell's issue is that Nell was backing up Nell. And that's your only issue. And now you felt ganged on and attacked and all that good stuff. No, you don't like people telling you what's right. I don't care. It was just so stupid. So if you just think that women, it's how he comes off as just like you're the superior person out of everyone because you're a man. No, you're not. Let's all treat each other with respect. How about that, sir? We're done with them. So we move on to Tisha and Kimmy. Tisha and Kimmy are getting their yoni together. It's what is that, a cleansing or something or whatever, but it has several benefits. It helps to cleanse your system out down there. It helps gets your juju back and flowing. Kimmy's there because she's just trying to get herself on track so that she could have sex 6 times a day with her husband. Maybe I feel like Kimmy is doing all this just to please Maurice. She could be doing it because she's done trying to feel like she's off herself. Maybe, I don't know. But it's just, to me, it's disgusting because I have no respect for Maurice whatsoever. So while they're, Tisha, she brings up the fact that she's possibly pregnant. Marcel has a vasectomy. She says that she was on her trip or whatever, and all she was eating she kept eating, she was getting sick and gaining weight. And she thought, oh, she could be possibly pregnant. You didn't even need to bring this in the scene. But she took a pregnancy test and it was negative. We knew that. She just thought, oh, well, I'm gaining weight and getting sick. I guess this is it. Well, you have 3 children or whatever, but I don't think that. When do y'all have time to even have sex? Marcel said that y'all only have sex like once or twice a month. So, they talk a little bit further about certain things. Kimmy talks to Tisha in regards to how she's feeling and how she's dealing with certain things. I'm glad that you're more light and you're full of laughter. Because the last time we did meet up, you weren't really there. You just weren't feeling it. And Tisha says, well, I don't want y'all to keep bringing up Kiki. I don't want to talk about her all the time. And Kimmy's like, well, you know that we got to bring it up. It just happened. We just know the splash of water happened and all that. She's like, it's fine, but it was just like the extra prodding that Mel was doing. Do you think there was something more? No, there wasn't. Because it is a mystery, and Kiki still hasn't explained herself. I just watched the interview that she did a couple of days ago on YouTube, and it still don't make any sense. I do feel like Marcel, Tisha, and Kiki are liars. Somehow they want to protect themselves to make themselves look good, and all their hands are dirty here too, in some type of way or whatever. I want to say something, but I don't think I'm going to really get to say anything until the reunion. But from what I keep hearing, Stormy, you're the one that started all of this, and for some reason your hands are clean and nobody will even bring your name up on camera about what you did. You're the catalyst to start this whole situation. I'll put it that way. From what I keep seeing and hearing. So Kimmy brought up something that Mel was saying. It seemed like that there was some type of personal attack towards Mel, because it's like, even at the board meeting, it was like whenever she wanted to say something, it was just like she was dismissed. And Tisha says, no, it wasn't really that. You know, I got a lot of stuff going on right now. It's a lot of pressure. And I'm really thinking about taking a step back. And maybe I should just be a stay-at-home mom. I know a lot of y'all people really case on Tisha. And and y'all said this last night on social media. Oh, she doesn't give me big boss behavior. I'm like, y'all are really weird because of your hatred for her. Do I think that she's not as business savvy and up to date? Yeah, but y'all are so weird. It's such haters because you're trying too much to be a fan of Mel. Do I think some things about her is weird? Yes, they are. Tisha, you did not go and get a double master's for nothing. I don't think you were in competition with Mel at that point. So you got all of this knowledge, and now you just want to sit at home. I feel like you're defeated at this moment because of the hardships that you do have. Since you guys will not talk about the lawsuits, not for real, you mentioned it for 2 seconds in the earlier episodes of Part B, in one episode. And it was about you counter suing and not about the original suit. Y'all don't want to talk about anything, and now the pressure is building up, and you really want to exit left. I think you guys have had too many hands in the cookie jar, if that's the right analogy to use. But y'all got too much on your plate. Y'all trying to be these mega people, and it's not in the cards as of yet. But to totally give up and just go and be a mom, not that that's not a bad thing, but there is more in you, girl. And I know you have a fan base that's against you also. But y'all are crazy too. Marcel is crazy too. I think that Marcel is not a good person that you really want to do a business with. From what I've been seeing, I usually don't go down the rabbit holes, but I ended up seeing some YouTube videos earlier this week. And Marcel, I would never do business with you. You'd be lucky to have that. I would want to say hi to you. For real. So that's what I think is what's going on with you, and you can't take the pressure. Be a mom or whatever, then what are you doing with this hair product stuff? Why are you doing that? I think that you want to emulate some of the things that Mel is doing because she's able to thrive in it, and think that you got to keep up with the Joneses. But maybe it's just not for you, and it's fine. It is very fine. But I don't agree with you just going and being a housewife again. Sorry. So we move on to Chris and Little Chris. This was a very good scene. I know that Mel and Martell went to them, Nell and Chris, for counseling. So are they professional counselors then? Because the way he broke everything down with his son Chris, It's very resemblant to the Tylers with Jamie and little Jamie. Whole situation. It's just like Jamie is at the age, he's in his mid-20s. Of course, everybody's like at this age where you're supposed to be at a certain place in life and thriving, and you shouldn't be messing up. Da, 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 da. And it looks like little Chris is still trying to find himself, as well as little Jamie was. It probably still is. Chris can really, he's very sensitive, and he's able, I understand why Chris is chosen as the one to talk to. I'm not saying that Nell is totally out of pocket, but a lot of times you just don't want to hear someone beating you down. Despite what may be going on, but it's just like, I may be beating up myself. And then the people that I'm trying to trust and talk to beat me down too. That it don't mix well. And I wish that there was a balance with parents, but a lot of parents just think that, this is a way to parent, but it's not effective. Anyways, with little Chris, we really find out that possibly he's dealing with depression. A lot of times, he doesn't really sleep that much. He doesn't have, what does he do? He drives somewhere, and he goes and sits alone to try to clear his thoughts. Chris began to break down because he says that, I love my son, and I would rather you call me at 2:30 in the morning than you be out in the streets. They talk about different things, but it just seems like there's this Chris feels like he's being picked on in a way. I'm saying it my way. It's just like always there's something about me that's not right. That stuff can work on your psyche. That doesn't mean doesn't leave room for escape for you to just be any type of way, Chris. And I think that he also knows that. But it's like anytime you come up, y'all are just always criticizing me. He hasn't really spoken to his mom. I don't think that Chris was going to say, "Oh, okay, I'll give you back your dogs." None of that, big Chris, So, but he was like basically listening to him, and I think that that's what Chris really wanted to hear. I really felt for little Chris at this moment, and I felt for big Chris because he wants to love his children and save them from any type of pitfalls. And when you're in depression and then you want to be alone, you don't know. I'm sure he's tempted to do a lot to harm himself. Y'all can take it however y'all want to, but I think that that's what's going on with him. Anyways, it could possibly lead down that road. But again, Chris said, call me. I'd rather you not be in these streets. I'd rather get to you and to see if I can help you. It was a very touching scene. Then we move on to Tiffany and Lewis. They discussed what happened with Kiki and Stormy. Lewis was quite skeptical of them actually coming together because it's normally this type of situation. Tiffany just felt like I seen Kiki in a different way because there wasn't this total raw. And she said in confessional, well, if Kiki gonna come at me this way, then I'm gonna meet your energy. And that's been the whole conflict instead of just grown women actually sitting down and stating issues. They talk a little bit more about how Tiffany is feeling. Tiffany has been in kind of denial of having postpartum depression. I think that, she said that she pushed it away because she knows that she's got to run a business, be a mother, be a wife, I don't have time to really acknowledge this. And I think that that's a pitfall for a lot of people, especially in the Black community. I said this earlier in the season, Black people are too hard on themselves in certain areas. And just as many comments that were last night that I think were just awful because we're so programmed to tough it out, stick it out, thrive through it, go through it. And really, you do need a break. Really, you do need to talk to someone. You need help. And just because you made it through with your postpartum depression, don't mean the next person is. It's just like Tiffany feels like she's lost. Like she's doing all this stuff. She's on autopilot, but she's lost herself in just these couple months because of this postpartum depression that she's never had before. She had a child and never gone through this before. And y'all too busy. Who told you this was going to happen? How you know? It's like reality has set in and reality is kicking their arse right now. And if y'all know so much better, then why don't y'all get on reality TV with a new baby? Since y'all know so much. I don't like that type of way of how Black people are. Just toughen up and just deal with it. Again, Black people are too hard on yourselves, and a lot of times you need to have some more grace for yourselves. So the end result is that Tiffany and Lewis are going to take a break from reality TV. I hate it. Y'all know I've been Team Tiffany for these last 3 seasons. She's the only one that has shooken up this cast. Destiny should have been the one, but Destiny was going through her own stuff and wasn't telling nobody about nothing. Tiffany came in and shook it on up. The 6 are too cliquish and just won't go past a measure as far as really going there and dealing with the realness. They're produced at this point. I'll miss them. Hopefully it's just a break, but whatever. I'd rather her just find herself, and if reality TV is not for her, then it's not for her. And I'm bringing up the point of, it seems like every time they come to a scene, all they want to just bring up an issue. That's what Tiffany said. And then it looks like with Tiffany, all they wanted to keep doing is pushing her to be the messy one. And there was no balance. That's what I was getting from what she was trying to say. So it looks like producers were trying to accomplish one thing, but wasn't trying to really show any balance, and just wanting to make her the villain. Tiffany is good in the villain role. Tiffany presses buttons, and maybe this doesn't have the right timing, but she was still a good villain that shook people to the core on certain things. The only thing I did not agree with was with Maurice Jr. It was just going too far, whatever. But we were able to find out other things that was trifling about Maurice that nobody really talks about, because he was hiding this mess from Kim, your wife. At any point, this could have been brought up, and it didn't have to be by Tiffany, about what Maurice Jr. was doing. But you made a pact with your teenage son to not tell anybody about this. That's insane. I do think that it was a very smooth transition to bring in the Fletchers. They came in, and because of their impact and the dynamics that they do have going on, it doesn't feel like too much, like there's going to be an empty void. However, there isn't really a villain on the show. If you want to call Marceau that, whatever. Marceau just be trolling us and just saying anything inflammatory, whatever. I don't even take him serious because he's so produced. It's so crazy. But anyways, it was a smooth transaction to enter in the Fletchers and allow the Whitlows to vacate. So that's the end of the episode. I did love the episode. Anytime a father and son could come together, or a parent can actually reach their child, is wonderful to me. But y'all, please get in the comments and let me know what you think of this episode. Even my commentary, disagree with me. Don't cuss me out though, because I'm not gonna cuss you out. But I will get back the same energy. Let me know. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you're not, and share this video again. Until the next one, peace.